Okay. So, as we all know, elections are coming up. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, you don't even live in the States, so who cares what you think? International politics is very important. I mean, it's globalization. Some little thing that happens in China can affect me all the way over here. And the same goes for you. So, yeah, it's very important. These are things people should care about. Like that incident that went on with Greece with that guy who was a radical who slapped that woman on TV. He's very anti-immigration. When if somebody like that were to get into power, who knows? That could be the next World War III. So, yeah, things like this are important. So, this election, Obama is very disappointing. He's been a disappointing president in my opinion. But he's not the worst. I preferred Bill Clinton or FDR. Yeah, I think it's FDR. But okay. But this is why I wouldn't vote for Mitt Romney. One, he's a Mormon. And you guys are going to be like, oh, you're discriminating, okay? You shouldn't judge somebody based on their faith. I mean, you wouldn't like it if somebody judged you because they saw you and they had stereotypes about you because you're black. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but there's a difference between religion and, say, race. You have a choice in which religion you have and which one you don't. And the very tenets of the core of the Mormon faith is racist. I mean, they were founded by a Klan member. It's written into their doctrine. They believe that black people bear the curse of Cain. And so, if you have this race, if the core of your faith is racist, how do you expect him to treat the minorities? I mean, the darker you are, the more evil you are in their eyes. So, like, if you're really strong in your faith, that reflects badly to you. That reflects badly on you when I decide whether or not I want this person representing me as, well, me, but not just that, like a black person. Not just that, you have to look at the party, how the party has been. They don't seem to be very pro women. I mean, the body is something that it seems that the state wants to have more and more control over, which doesn't make sense because I thought like the core principles of being a Republican is less government intervention. So, in theory, aren't you guys being hypocrites because you're trying to intervene in the very private aspects of personal life? One, you're trying to intervene in how I choose to deal with my body, whether that's me using birth control or not. It should be covered under healthcare. Birth control is a medication. It's not just used to prevent pregnancies. And I'm sorry, the Catholic Church is an institution. It's a religious institution, and we're supposed to be secular, okay? I don't care if you think that the Founding Fathers were all Catholics. That's not necessarily true, or that they were all religious. I'm pretty sure they intended for the nation to be secular. So, not just that, I think that's awfully medieval. You're going to tell women how they should manage their bodies, okay? If I have really bad cramps, if I have cysts, and this is the only medication that's working, and I'm not even having sex in the first place, then I don't see how it's any of your business. And even if I am having sex, wouldn't you rather that I use birth control instead of bringing in a whole bunch of illegitimate kids into the world that I have no intention, nor do their fathers have any intention of caring for? Just saying. You're talking about draining this is a waste in tax dollars. Well, think about how many unwanted pregnancies will be prevented. So how many less kids are going to become wards of the state? Okay, and you want to ban gay marriage. Like, why is that even your choice? Why is that your choice? I don't understand. Like, again, we're not a Catholic nation. We're not a Christian nation. We're supposed to be secular here. You shouldn't bring... And, again, my rights end where your rights begin. And I thought, as a Republican, as a conservative, that's one of the principles that you stand by. So, why are you infringing on other people's rights? I don't understand that. And I think there's such a thing as basic human rights. Why don't we have universal health care in the U.S. yet? And why is it that whenever somebody tries to implement it, like Bill Clinton had tried, and Obama is trying, but you keep fighting it? It's like this social safety net scares you, but at the same time you want to bail out the corporations. That doesn't make any sense, because the corporations are like, we don't want government intervention, a lot of them being Republicans, the really high up ones. So you don't want government intervention, but you'll gladly take a check when there's people who actually needed that money. And I'm okay with survival of the fittest, Republicans, if that's how you want to have your government, with no government intervention, self-determination, self-responsibility, self-accountability. I'm fine with that, if there's an equal playing field, if everybody has a chance. But you can't have people going and sleeping in the slums and not having access to food. Why do you think obesity is such a problem? Because people don't have an adequate income to support their families, and fast food is cheap. That's why they're raising these little fat asses that are running around and getting diabetes, and even though they're overweight, they're malnourished. Why do you think that we have these problems? You're saying you want self-determination because you have the advantage. It's not survival of the fittest if you have an unnatural advantage. I mean, come on. Even when we look at it from the basic biological level, we start off all the same. And then there's some genes, there's some mutations, and there may not even be mutations. There just might be some genes that are more advantageous than the others, that become expressed in a change of environment. To me, that seems fair. But this whole situation where you're trying to keep somebody else down so that you can stay up here, we already know that if the rest of the people come up here, that it's unsustainable. That's why you're trying to keep everybody else down here, whether it's at an intranational level or international level. But yeah, so that's why I wouldn't vote Mitt Romney, because I don't agree with what he stands for as a person, and I don't agree with what his party, and him being a vessel of his party, or I don't even know if that's the right phrasing, represents. So yeah, I would seriously consider that when you're voting. What are your values? But at the same time, you also have to remember that your rights end where somebody else's begin. Be empathetic, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Vote in your best interest, as well as the best interest of your children and the people around you who cannot vote. Okay? Us Canadians are depending on you to make the right decision. Okay? Canadians, Europeans, the Russians, the Asians. The Russians are Asians, but you know what I'm saying.